Funny. Very funny.
The Flintstones is one of the most famous retro cartoons of all time. It was so popular, the theme song is still a recognizable part of pop culture decades later. What most viewers didn't notice is the darker themes it explored while playing them for laughs. They included everything from jokes about Fred's body to one character almost ending it all. Not all these moments have survived the times. The most politically incorrect episodes of this cartoon have been pulled from the air entirely. Keep watching to learn about the darkest topics it covered and the 4 Flintstone episodes that have been banned from television. Body shaming. Fred was often the butt of the joke in the Flintstones. One of the character's favorite jokes was to poke fun at his weight. He was called fat since episode 1. Then there are jokes like the one in the episode The Hot Piano. Fred tells Barney to back up because he needs to, quote, put some weight into getting a piano through the doorway. Barney jokes, but Fred, you're a lot of weight. One of the worst examples of this is in the episode Fred Flintstone Before and After. Fred goes on a weight loss commercial and discovers he's used as the before example. It makes him angry enough to lose weight and enter a contest to win $1,000 by losing 25 pounds. He can't stop eating, so he joins a club called Food Anonymous. They prevent him from getting any unhealthy food. He loses weight by the end of the month, but he also begins losing his mind. He resigns from the club, but they still control his eating habits. Impressionable young viewers with body image issues might not take the right message away from an episode like that. Dead-end jobs. Fred and Barney both deal with a reality that most Americans relate to. They're stuck in dead-end jobs. They both work in the same positions at the slate factory their entire lives. It makes sense for an episodic show that needs to return everything to the status quo by the end of the episode, but it's still unfortunate for them. Fred did try to rise up the ranks several times. Take the episode Flintstone of Princeton. He decides that a better education might be what he needs. He hadn't graduated from college and chose football over much of his high school education. Going to Princeton University didn't make things any better. It almost seemed like his boss, Mr. Slate, was going to offer him a promotion before everything went right back to the way it was before. Animal exploitation. The Flintstones is set in the Stone Age, so they don't have any sort of modern appliances. Instead, much of their daily conveniences come from exploiting animals. A stegosaurus serves as a fire truck. Birds chirp inside the show's version of a Polaroid camera. Dinosaurs under the sink serve as garbage disposals. The trunk of a mammoth serves as a faucet. This was a creative decision on the part of the showrunners as a way to make the ancient world feel slightly modern. If you think about it, though, it's unfortunate for the animals being forced to do a job all day. Humans get used too. The humans of the Flintstones aren't above using each other. Fred is shown to be selfish and manipulative from the beginning. In the first episode, he convinces Barney to go bowling with him instead of the date night the husbands had agreed to with their wives. He fakes a head injury and gets his best friend to take care of him. He also uses Barney's flying machine to get to the bowling alley and plans to pass it off as his idea. Fred can even almost get violent at times. He threatens Barney for interrupting his nap, almost hits him in the rock quarry story, and more. What makes it bearable is that Fred isn't always horrible. He does support his friend through his lowest moments, such as his adoption journey, but the scales certainly aren't even. Viewers may be left to wonder why Barney sticks around him so devotedly. Gambling. Fred has more than a love of gambling, he has a problem with it. In the episode The Gambler, Fred's eyes light up when Barney comes over and suggests they bet on a game of marbles.
Hey, tell you what, Fred, we'll play for a nickel if you want to bet.
Okay, Barney, you're on, but don't tell Wilma.
Okay, Fred, I won't.
Wilma realizes he has a problem. She tells Betty he once gambled all their money away to the point they couldn't afford basic necessities. Barney tricks Fred into getting help by turning it into a bet. He goes to a professional, but the help doesn't stick, and Wilma forgives him. The status quo has returned. Binge drinking. Fred also has a problem with drinking. His favorite daily drink is cactus juice, which can be made into tequila. The original live-action film wasn't afraid to show the truth of their drinking. There's a scene where Fred and Barney guzzle down a beer mug as large as they are. The Flintstones also somehow managed to get themselves into a Busch beer cartoon for employees of the Anheuser-Busch Company. Infertility and suicide. This is the darkest combination of themes that the Flintstones ever dealt with. So many parents have dealt with infertility struggles, including Barney and Betty in the first few seasons. They couldn't have a child of their own and tried to ease their sorrows by playing with pebbles. The tides eventually turned. Betty and Barney wished on a falling star and had a child delivered on their doorstep. It seemed like their prayers were answered, but a long adoption process got in the way. Their heaven-delivered child, Bam Bam, was set to go to another home. Barney couldn't handle it anymore. He goes to a bridge with a boulder and prepares to jump off of it, saying,
Goodbye, cruel world.
Fred saves him at the last moment. Bam Bam joins the family and everything is wonderful again. But there was a moment when it almost seemed like it was going to fall apart. The 4 banned episodes. A few Flintstone episodes have been re-evaluated in recent years and banned due to changing cultural landscapes. The first one is Droop Along Flintstone. In this episode, the Flintstones and the Rubbles both go to a ranch to see Fred's rich cousins, Tumbleweed and Mary Lou Jim. They go away from the ranch only to find actors in a Western TV show. Fred and Barney think it's all real. Suddenly, they're attacked by actors playing a Native American tribe. Wilma and Betty also think their husbands are in real danger and attack the actors. When everyone returns to the ranch, Tumbleweed and Mary Lou Jim don't believe any of it until they're also attacked. The episode was banned in Canada for its stereotypical portrayal of Native Americans. The ban was lifted when the show began airing internationally and came out on DVD. Latin Lover. In this episode, Wilma and Fred watch a romantic movie. She's enamored of the main Italian actor in the film, so Fred decides to act more like him. It works a bit too well. She soon becomes convinced that the new attitude has led other women to go after him. By the end of the episode, she tries to convince him to go back to being himself. Latin Lover was removed from syndication for including jokes about spousal abuse. The Gravelberry Pie King. This episode is the most innocent of the 4 banned Flintstone episodes. It was taken out of the running not for what it showed, but for what it implied. The Great Gazoo convinces Fred to see his boss, Mr. Slate, over a list of demands from the workers, which includes firing Fred. He meets an unemployed man who thinks Wilma's pies are the best he's ever had. They serve as a source of temporary income, but end up losing him money in the end. What got the episode in hot water was the moment where Fred tells Mr. Safestone, the grocery store manager he was selling them to, that he was raising the price to 75 cents each. The store owner's response isn't heard because a whistle drowns it out. That hinted at him using words not fit for a children's TV show, even if none of them were heard. The Prowler. This episode wasn't originally banned, but it was once MeTV took over running the Flintstones episodes. They took it off the air after April 2023. It was also officially banned by Warner Brothers in 2024 and skipped by the MeTV Toons network. What gave the episode the axe? It was another example of stereotyping. Betty takes judo lessons to protect herself when reports of a prowler in town start appearing. The instructor was considered an offensive Japanese stereotype. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite episode of the Flintstones? Let us know in the comments section below.